I have believed in God for as long as I can remember. From the earliest days of my youth, my mother's gentle admonitions, "Without God, we are nothing," echoed in my heart. As soon as I was old enough to grasp the mysteries of life, I vowed to devote myself entirely to His service. For me, becoming a priest was never a choice, but a calling. I immersed myself in years of study at the seminary, poring over scripture, theology, and ancient liturgies. I memorized countless prayers, learned rituals passed down through generations, and was taught to shepherd a flock in need. When the day of my ordination finally arrived, I felt that every step of my journey had led to this singular, divine purpose. For many years, I served faithfully in the small town of Villa Aurora, a place where faith was woven into the very fabric of daily life. The townspeople trusted me implicitly, seeking my counsel in moments of sorrow and celebration alike. I baptized their newborns, officiated weddings, blessed humble homes, and prayed with the sick and downtrodden. Outwardly, I embodied every virtue expected of a priest. Yet deep within, I harbored a quiet emptiness, a nagging doubt that I could never share with anyone. How could I confess that beneath the surface of ritual and ceremony, my heart ached for a deeper connection with the divine? Late one evening, after the parish had emptied and silence wrapped the church like a shroud, I lingered before the altar. The soft glow of a few flickering candles barely dispelled the darkness that crept into the corners of the ancient stone walls. My eyes lifted to the large crucifix suspended above the altar, and in that solemn moment I wondered, what am I missing? Why do I feel so far from you? With a trembling voice, I whispered a prayer for clarity and comfort. In an instant, an unusual pressure gripped my chest. At first, I dismissed it as fatigue from a long day of ministry, but soon the sensation intensified, burning, as though fire were spreading through my ribs. My breath grew shallow, and my vision blurred into streaks of candlelight. I attempted to rise, but my legs refused to obey. A piercing pain shot down my arm as darkness began to encroach upon my senses. In that heartbeat of terror, I realized I was on the brink of death. I collapsed onto the cold stone floor, my body surrendering to the overwhelming pain and fatigue. As the world around me faded into nothingness, I drifted into a void, a silence where time had no meaning. And then, as if emerging from an endless night, I became aware of a presence. I saw myself lying there, lifeless and fragile, as if I were watching a scene from a distant dream. Before I could process this strange detachment, I sensed movement at the edge of my vision. Shadows began to stir in the dim light, their forms shifting and coalescing into indistinct shapes that crept closer with a chilling intent. They pressed upon me, a weight of darkness threatening to pull me into oblivion. I fought against their unseen grip. Yet the more I resisted, the stronger their pull became. A relentless force drawing me away from the flickering sanctuary of the altar. Just as despair threatened to overwhelm me, a sudden brilliance burst into existence. A soft, radiant light emerged, slicing through the oppressive darkness like a divine blade. The shadows recoiled, hissing as they were driven back by the luminous glow. Within that light, I discerned a figure, both majestic and tender. A presence that radiated love and authority in equal measure. The figure stepped forward, and as I watched in awe, he spoke my name. Elias. His voice resonated deeply, each syllable imbued with compassion and power. In that moment, I knew without doubt that I was in the presence of Jesus. His eyes, filled with infinite sorrow and hope, met mine. "You have served me, Elias," he said, his tone neither reproachful nor harsh, but filled with gentle truth. "You have fulfilled many duties, yet I must ask, do you truly know me?" My heart pounded in terror and regret. All my life I had recited scriptures, conducted ceremonies, and preached sermons about divine love. But now, standing before him in this ethereal realm, I realized that I had known only the external forms of devotion. I had followed rituals without ever opening my heart fully to his presence. I thought I was serving you, I stammered, overwhelmed by guilt. I have done everything as I was taught. Jesus regarded me with a mixture of sorrow and tenderness. You know my words, but not my heart, he said quietly. Faith is not measured by the rituals you perform, but by the love you live. You have maintained the traditions, yet in doing so, you have forgotten the true essence of our relationship. The sacred is not in the act alone, but in the intimacy of knowing me. In that profound moment, memories began to unfold before my eyes. I saw myself in countless instances of ministry, hastily blessing a grieving family without truly listening to their pain, delivering impassioned sermons to congregations whose eyes betrayed hidden despair, and attending to the needs of the community with mechanical precision. Yet, interwoven with these were rare, luminous moments when I had sat with a lonely widow, shared a smile with a struggling farmer, or offered quiet comfort to a troubled soul. These were the moments when I had unknowingly embraced true compassion. Teach me, Lord, I whispered, tears streaming down my face. Teach me to know you not just in doctrine, but in the depths of my heart. Jesus' countenance softened, and he extended his hand, resting it gently upon my shoulder. A warmth unlike any I had ever known surged through me, banishing the lingering chill of despair. Then follow me, Elias, he said, his voice imbued with both command and mercy. Embrace a faith that transcends tradition, a faith born of love, humility, and genuine connection. I will guide you in every step you take. In a swirl of blinding light, I felt myself being drawn back, returning to a reality I scarcely recognized. When I opened my eyes once more, I was lying in a hospital bed, surrounded by concerned faces and the steady beeps of medical equipment. The doctors called my recovery nothing short of miraculous, attributing it to a near-fatal heart attack. Yet inside, I carried the unmistakable imprint of my divine encounter. Once my strength returned, I began to share what I had experienced. My fellow priests listened with polite skepticism, dismissing it as the fevered illusion of a dying mind. But a handful of parishioners met my words with wonder and hope. Their eyes shone with the possibility of a more heartfelt, transformative spirituality. I returned to Villa Aurora forever changed. No longer could I confine my ministry to the rigid recitation of rituals and the preservation of tradition. I set out to walk alongside the people, to comfort, to listen, and to love them as Jesus had loved me. My sermons shifted from strict doctrine to messages of authentic connection and unconditional grace. I made time for the suffering, the marginalized, and the brokenhearted. I found that when I opened my heart fully, the divine presence touched not only my soul, but also those of the people I encountered. Now, each evening as I sit in the quiet of the church, surrounded by the soft glow of candles, I am reminded of that sacred night. I know that true faith is not found in perfunctory actions or time-worn traditions, but in a living, breathing relationship with Jesus, a relationship marked by love, compassion, and transformative grace. And every day, I strive to lead others toward that radiant calling, secure in the promise that I am never alone.